Welcome back. I am Unapologetically Eric. You can follow me on Facebook at Unapologetically Eric or on Twix at Eric Not Sorry. So, I am sure I'm going to ruffle some feathers, but I don't care. So, had to be said, I had to sit down today because there are people out there that, one, don't understand basic math, and two, basic economics. So, there is a woman by the name of Caitlin Clark. If you have not heard of her or any of this story, Caitlin Clark, I'm sure she's a lovely person. I've never met her. I haven't heard anything bad about her. But Caitlin Clark was a basketball player in college up until recently, this past year. I believe her team made it to the NCAA women's finals. They, unfortunately, for her team, did not win. But she went into the WNBA draft, and she was drafted number 1. Fucking awesome. If you don't know her or you don't follow college basketball or women's college basketball, she is fucking amazing. She is tremendous. She set, I think, records for the most points scored in a career or season or so. She's phenomenal. I have nothing but positive things to say about her. Nothing but positive things to say. The problem is, here's the problem. So, people are all up in arms, and they got their feathers all ruffled, because she was as I said, the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. Now, her contract is for 4 years, her rookie contract, for 4 years, $338,000. Good chunk of change. Now, that breaks down to about $84,500 a year. Now, the reason why there is such a big stink is because last year's number 1 pick for the NBA made a 4-year, $55 million contract. So that breaks down to about $13.75 million a year. Quite the difference. Now, does Caitlin deserve more money? No. What did you say? Did you just say no? No, she doesn't. Actually, yes. Yes, she does. But based upon economics of the league, she probably can't make more money. Again, I don't know the inner workings of contracts for rookies and all that. I'm not going to look it up because, frankly, I don't fucking care. The bottom line is, people are looking at the huge difference between a WNBA rookie contract and an NBA contract. It is a ginormous difference. But do you know why? Well, it's because she's a girl. No, stop. You have retards like Biden coming out and saying, she deserves, women needs to get paid. Shut the fuck up. And then you have this douchebag quarterback, Russell Wilson, in the NFL, who's making fucking garbage trucks full of fucking money. She deserves more. She should get paid more. Women's sports should get paid more. Okay. Put your fucking money up. Put your money up. Now, the reason why there is such a huge difference, since I know there's people already tuning out because they're like, fuck that guy. Let me get you learn on how athletes are paid is how money comes in. So let's just simple numbers. I'm not looking these up. These are not accurate. Don't quote me. I'm just pulling these numbers out of my asshole. Okay? If an NBA team has an arena that holds 30,000 fans, and they can charge an average of, we'll say, I don't know, $75 a seat, and they can, on average, get 25,000 fans to show up every game, that's a good chunk of fucking money. That's a good chunk of money. Plus, okay, maybe they got jerseys, right? They're selling merch, right? Duh. So let's say it's $100 for a jersey. Okay, people are going out and buying, Kobe Bryant jerseys still, Okay, great. People are willing to spend that money. Now, if you go to a WNBA game, say in the same venue, 30,000 seats, and they were to charge $75 a seat, nobody would go. Granted, yes, there are some people that would go, duh, of course. But they're not going to get 25,000 people to go to the game. Why? There's just not that much of a following for the WNBA. It's not saying it's right or wrong. It's just it is what it is. So they have to drop the prices for seats down in order to get fans to come. People are going to buy a jersey. Are they going to spend $100? They're probably not. So they're going to drop the price down to $60. Which, okay, again, basic economics. If people aren't going to spend $100, you keep dropping the price down until all of a sudden stuff starts flying off the shelves. It's basic fucking math. It's economics. The league cannot pay out money they don't have. Duh. Duh. So I have one giant question for all the people that are complaining about this. When was the last time you went to a WNBA game? I'm waiting. Now, I know that obviously people do go. But the vast majority of people that are complaining about this, when was the last time you went to a game? When was the last time you went out and bought a WNBA player's jersey? I'm waiting. Because in order for women in the WNBA or any other women's sport, I mean, this shit really started popping off with the soccer players. That pink-haired fucking twat waffle. I'm not even going to say her name. Fuck that bitch. In order for the league to have enough money, or a team owner or whatever, in order for them to pay their players more, they have to bring in more. Duh. If an NBA team, again, I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass, if one home game, they profit $3 million, and a WNBA game brings in a profit of $500,000, guess which league is going to have more money to pay their fucking players? Which team is going to have more money to pay their players? Which one? Duh, the NBA, right? Obviously. Or the same thing with soccer. If the men's team draws 35,000 fans and the women's team draws 15, even if the ticket prices were the same, which league, which team is going to have more money in the coffers to pay their players? They can't pay people what they don't fucking have. So, does she deserve to get paid more? Yes and no. Because if the league doesn't have the money or the team doesn't have the money, she's not going to get more. The end of the day, she doesn't even have to take the contract. She could say, you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't want to put my body through this. Maybe she could say, you know what? I don't want to put my body through this for such little money. So she could take whatever degree she earned when she went to school. Honestly, I don't know what she went to school for, but she could take that degree and put it to good use. She could go find a job, a career in that field, whatever it was, and make her living doing that. She doesn't have to take the contract. But hey, Mr. Russell Wilson, put your fucking money where your mouth is. You make more money in a year than I will make in 7 lifetimes. So put your money where your mouth is. Why don't you buy or chip in to purchase a WNBA team and start paying the players more, since that's what you support? Or again, like I said a few minutes ago, people that are complaining about this, when was the last time you went to a game? When was the last time you bought a jersey? There's a woman I do not like. Her name is Jamel Hill. I do not like her. 99.9% of the time when she opens her mouth, I disagree with everything she says, but not this time. One of the things I saw she quoted as saying when it came to this was exactly what I was just saying. She's like, go out there and support the team, support the league, go buy tickets, go to the games, buy the jerseys, buy the merch. That is how women are going to get paid more. If the numbers aren't coming in, then the numbers can't go out. So, well, that's not fair. Life isn't fair. Grow up. She is an amazing player. All the women in the WNBA are amazing players. That's why they're there. They all have their positives and negatives of their gameplay, but they are tremendous athletes, and that's why they're there. They don't have to play the game for what is being offered in the contract. They could say no and go their own way. But if you want to play, you have to say yes to the contract, and there it is. There's your contract. Okay, so Caitlin Clark, does she also deserve to get paid $13.75 million a year like last year's NBA rookie? Okay, sure, but who's coming up with the money? How much profit does the team make? Also, here's another thing that I was chuckling at when I was thinking about starting this episode was, who runs the league? It's not a room full of like 80-year-old white guys going, I'm not going to pay these women enough money because they're just girls. No. I am sure they have quite the diversity when it comes to league management and the heads of the teams. I'm sure there's men and women, and they're black, and they're white, and they're Hispanic. I'm sure it runs the whole gamut, like life. Well, I am sure they want to pay their players more, but again, if the money isn't there, it's not there. If they're bringing in $3 million of profit a year, they're not going to have a $75 million payroll. It doesn't work that way. That's deficit spending, kind of like our government. It doesn't work. So if you want the Caitlin Clarks of the world, of the WNBA league, to make more money, go to the game. Buy the tickets and go. Pay the concessions. Buy the hot dogs and the beer and the water and the soda. Buy the merch. Buy the jerseys. Like I said, go to the games. Have you watched a WNBA game? I have seen women's college games draw more. Obviously, the bigger schools, not the ones that are like 2-15 for their record, but like the UConns, the Tennessees, the Notre Dames, Dukes. They have way more fans in the stands than I've seen on some of the WNBA games. Another thing that draws in money into the league is advertising. Well, if you had a company, you're the head of Toyota, okay? You wake up tomorrow, you're the CEO of Toyota. You want advertisement for Toyota. Well, you're going to go to the Boston Celtics or the LA Lakers, and you're going to go, hey, how many people watch the games? How many eyeballs are on the games every time it televises? Now, if they say, well, home games typically draw 5 million viewers to the television to watch the game, they're going to go, oh, okay, well, we would like to advertise Toyotas during your games, and we will give you X amount of money. And, the Lakers or the Celtics or the Raptors or whatever, they'll say, okay. And they'll take the contract and, oh, look, Toyota commercials. Big surprise. Now, you do the same thing. Hey, you tell your advertising people, hey, go to the WNBA. Go talk to, I don't know. I don't follow basketball really. But go to the Sparks. Or I know that's one of the teams, or the Liberty. Go Go find out how many people tune in to watch their games on television. Well, if they sit down at the table and the team owner says, well, we typically get about 500,000 people that tune in. Okay, Toyota, you're still going to go, okay, yeah, advertise. But you're going to go, yeah, I'm not paying you X. I'm going to pay you X minus 40%. Because it's not worth the investment in the advertising because you are not getting as many eyeballs on your product. That is life. That is business. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. That is how it is. That is business 101. If you are trying to sell $1 million worth of product and where you're trying to put that ad may sell 100,000, you're not going to invest a lot of money there. But if you find out you have a shot of hitting your goal of $1 million, you will invest the money there because of the cost of, your return. You spend money to make money, but you always want to make more than what you spend. Duh, you don't want a deficit spend. So if Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, Walmart, Target, Nike, whatever, brings their advertisement money to an NBA team and they find out the numbers of how many people watch the game, they're going to, or how many people go to the game, they're going to go, here's a check for this much. And then they go to the WNBA and they ask the same questions and the numbers are 60% less. Guess what? Your check for advertisement's going to be 60% less because of the cost of return. You're not going to spend the same amount because you're not getting it back. You're just not going to do it. So to Biden and the Russell Wilsons and all the other idiots, that is business 101. Do female athletes deserve to get paid more? Sure. They're putting their bodies at risk, no different than a man. A woman could dislocate her hip. She could blow out her knee, separate her shoulder, break her nose, just as fast as a guy playing their sport. Of course, they're human bodies, right? They'll break down too. They will also get bad ankles and bad knees and all the bad joints that typically happen to athletes. Absolutely. But one, these ladies don't have to agree to the contract. And two, if the money isn't there to dole out, where are you getting it from? So if you feel what Caitlin Clark is going to make or is being offered is shit compared to the NBA rookie from last year, yeah, it is. It's really shit. But if you want her to make more and all the other ladies and future women going into the WNBA draft and joining the league, go to the games. Put your fucking money where your mouth is. Don't bitch. Don't complain. Don't go on Twitter. And, this is unfair. It's part of the patriarchy. Shut the fuck up. Put your money where your mouth is. Go to the game. Go. Buy the merch. Buy the jerseys. Go buy autographed posters. Put your money where your mouth is. Then, over time, oh, look, the coffers are getting higher and higher. These ladies can now make more money. And the same thing when it comes to endorsements. Because a lot of athletes, yeah, they have, fat contracts, obviously. But a lot of them make stupid money just on endorsements from, Nike and Reebok or Buick and Chevy or Rolex. They make stupid fat stacks off of endorsements. Now, and speaking of which, I did not read the article, but I saw a headline that Caitlin Clark was being offered an endorsement. I don't know from where or who, but I did see that it was I think 6 figures, which, okay, good. That's fucking awesome. So she's probably going to make more in 1 year based on this, endorsement, unless it's for multiple years. Again, I didn't read it. I don't know. But good for her. That's fucking awesome. But you're not comparing apples to apples here. You're comparing apples to oranges. If I go and fish I'm not a fisherman, but if I go try to go fishing in a pond that is 7 feet deep and it's, 500 feet in diameter, I'm not going to catch the same kind of fish I could on a deep sea, boat. Because guess what? The bigger fish are out at deep sea. Doo-doo-doo. So why would I bitch that I'm not catching a whale fishing in a small little pond? That would be stupid. So don't bitch if there is a small amount of money to go around and the people aren't making as much as you think they're worth. I've heard for decades, and I was one of these people, that some of these pro athletes, the men, are making too much money. And I still stand. I think it's still true today. I mean, I'm a big baseball player. Sure, growing up, I would have loved to have a contract getting paid $15 million to throw a fucking baseball. But there are people out there making $40 million to throw a baseball. Doctors who do open heart surgery don't make that. They're making a difference in lives. They are saving people's lives. And they're not making a fraction of what somebody who throws a ball does or puts a ball in a hoop. I mean, give me a fucking break. It's ridiculous. But that's how these leagues are. That's how it's ran. Okay, the ladies of the WNBA and even the soccer team, and I couldn't give two shits about soccer. I hate soccer. Really, I do. I really do. I don't understand it. But anyways, if you want them to make more money has to come in. Sitting at home on your phone complaining is not going to get the Caitlin Clarks of the world any more money in their bank account. Go to the games. Stop bitching. Go to the game. Spend the money. And maybe over time, as that money and the profits ramp up, lo and behold, look, these ladies can be offered contracts that are for $2, $3, $7 million a year. And that would be awesome. That's the goal, right? Duh. But simple economics, folks. If the male team brings in 30,000 fans a game and the female team brings in 10,000 and the tickets are cheaper, guess what? The profits aren't going to be as high as the men's team. And then it has nothing to do with women or the patriarchy or, any of that stuff. It has nothing to do with it. If people don't want to tune in, that if people don't want to go to the games, the money is not going to be there. It's basic economics. Hey, I do a podcast. You're listening to it right now. I'm not making the same kind of money Joe Rogan is. Well, that's just not fucking fair. That's just not fair. I deserve the same contract as Joe Rogan. And all of you are laughing, probably, as well you should, because that's stupid. Would I like to make that? Yeah, baby. Fuck yeah, I would. I'd fucking retire tomorrow. But guess what? I don't bring in nearly as much money as he does. I don't have tens of millions of people listening to every episode. It's not reality. It doesn't happen. So guess what? Nobody's going to pay me Joe Rogan fuck you money. It's not realistic. It doesn't fucking work that way. So this has nothing to do with men getting paid more than women. No. If you believe that, you're an idiot. You are captured. You have been brainwashed by stupid. I'm sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. It's the truth. It's the truth. Should a woman get paid the same amount as a man to do the same job? Well, duh. No shit. But when it comes to professional sports, if the money isn't there, the money isn't there. If you have two companies and, one makes $10 million profit a year and they have 100 employees, and across the street is another company with also 100 employees, but they make $3 million profit a year. Which company is going to have money to give bonuses and better raises and pizza parties compared to less? It's obvious, right? It doesn't take a genius. You don't need an app to figure that out. Obviously, the one that has a $10 million profit. Well, it's the same concept. It is the exact same concept. If the Lakers made a $100 million profit and the Boston Celtics made $10 million profit, well, which team is going to be able to get the better players and sign bigger contracts and make their players happy financially? Well, it won't be the Celtics, duh, right? Well, now you're comparing the leagues. If the NBA draws, I don't know, $10 million, it's not $10 million, 10 million people to tune in to the game of the week, and the WNBA draws in 1 million viewers to watch the game of the week, guess where the higher amount of advertising revenue is going to go to? It's not rocket surgery. I mean, I've been hearing the last few days, it's been like 2 days now listening to this, and I just bang my head against the wall because it's so fucking stupid. One thing that is promising I did see is the draft for the WNBA drew their highest viewership ever. That is promising for that league. That is promising for the ladies of that league and the future ladies to join that league. That is very promising. Now, I'm sure Caitlin Clark had something to do with it because, like I said in the beginning, she is phenomenal. She does things that I couldn't do even when I was still an athlete. I couldn't come close. She is tremendous. She is an amazing player. So that is promising. I believe it was like 2.5 million viewers tuned in to watch the draft. Now, I'm a big sports fan. I don't tune in to watch the draft for any fucking sport because it's boring as shit to me. I just don't care. I find out the next day. I read it in, well, not in the paper, but you know what I mean? I look it up. Oh, who did my team draft? Oh, are they good? But so that's pretty good. That's promising, like I said. So maybe next year they'll draw equal or more, and maybe next year or throughout this season because of this. Because of podcasts like mine, the things that I am saying, and the Jamel Hills of the world, and others that are saying the same thing about go out, buy the tickets, buy their jerseys, go to the games. Maybe with this dust-up, it has made more people aware that there is such a huge difference when it comes to salaries, at least in basketball, between the men's and women's leagues, that people will go out and buy tickets, and these women's basketball teams do start selling out, or at least 80-90% of the capacity of the seats get filled. That brings in more money. So hopefully this time next year, I could be sitting down going, hey, do you remember last year, the whole big hullabaloo between, Caitlin Clark and her contract? Wow, well, the number one pick this year is making, $140,000. Wow, okay, yeah, it's still not $13.75 million, but it's not $84,500. So it's an improvement. Maybe more advertising company will or advertisers will spend a little bit more, which, again, if the eyeballs are there and the butts are in the seats, it's economics, people. Has nothing to do with women. It has nothing to do with that. It's economics. It is simple economics. You're not going to spend $10 to make $1. You're going to spend $10 to make 20. It's basic economics, folks. Basic economics. And I think I'm done for now ranting about this. I mean, I would love to hear what you have to say. If you don't agree with me, oh well. Like I said, it is what it is. And so I wish Caitlin Clark nothing but the best. I wish all the women of the WNBA. All the best. Like I said, I'm not a big basketball fan, so I don't watch the WNBA because I also don't watch the NBA. It's just, it's not my thing. But I wish them all the best. I wish them all more money in the future and health. That's the biggest thing, especially when it comes to sports. So if you want women's sports to thrive and to be profitable, and for these women athletes to make stupid buckets of fuck you money, they need your money. Go to the games. Buy a ticket. Go to the game. Not just once every 10 years. No, go a couple times a year. I mean, again, I also know money is tight for everybody. I get it. Go buy a jersey. Go buy a t-shirt that is authentic and licensed by the league, not, some $5 knockoff piece of shit, because they get $0 from that. Buy the legitimate licensed merch. Help them out. Get them the money. Get the teams the money. That can help make these contracts bigger. So, thank you for listening. And until next time, take care.